God. Okay, hi. Welcome to Talk Comics to Me. We have the classic Rick Astley song stuck in our heads. So be prepared for lots of references and or possible singing. It's Talk Comics to Me time.
We're here to talk comics to you.
I'm Champ Champenstein.
I'm Heather Hadfield.
And I don't have anything good besides that fucking song, so.
I have 0 things.
Okay, so.
Not a 1.
Let's not give you up.
Let's let you down. Okay, I'm going to talk first. This is Lore Olympus. This is the first 25 chapters of the classic webtoon, the number 1 webtoon phenomenon.
I have a question.
Yes.
I couldn't remember. Did that win an Eisner that year or not?
No.
Okay.
It was nominated for one. I can't remember. I'm going to sound like an asshole now, but I don't understand how she did not win and the person who did win did. Because the other person's art, compared to this especially, was just so, boring.
Okay.
And it was perfect for the story that it was, but she was nominated for Webtoon comic, and this was just so much more interesting, and
that's fair.
Yeah. I was disappointed.
Yeah. This is an opinion show.
Yes.
We're not spitting facts here, I guess.
Well, this is a fact, actually. It was boring. But yeah, this is just, it's a modern retelling of Greek myths with the main focus on Hades and Persephone. So that's really it. If you know, you know. If not, then I would recommend it to you because it's really, really good. And the art's really cute. There's a lot of funny panels in it. And I do just love the story a lot.
This is one of your favorite things.
Yes. It is something that I have been very into for a few years now. I've gotten several people to read it, and
somehow not me. Somehow I did not. I don't really like reading webtoons or stuff online.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to get used to, but the app for Webtoon is so accessible, which is why I recommend it to people. But it's also the one thing my little sister and I, we read it every Saturday. It comes out at 8 p.m. We both read it at 8:01 and then immediately text each other about it. It's our thing.
Wow.
That we have. Yeah.
That is some fucking let me vomit real fast shit.
Yeah.
Come on,
I got her to read it because I started reading it when she was spending the night at my house one night. It was, I'm sure you had read a tweet about it. She came over, climbed into my bed, and put on Friends immediately.
Yeah.
And was
you've definitely told me about this.
Yes.
And this night.
Yeah. I did not want to do that, so I found this randomly and started reading it and quickly became obsessed with it. But again, this is volume 1, the first 25 chapters. If you read it through Webtoons, it is free. And there's 189 chapters right now.
Dang.
It's, updated every Saturday. Just very, very good. It deals with a lot of very hard topics, and I think they're just handled very well.
One last question before you move on. Do you think it's one of those things you can just kind of hop in on, or do you think you would want to go back and read all the way from the beginning, or from a certain point?
I would say that you can't jump in every single episode because there is an overarching story. It obviously starts at the beginning here. Persephone goes through a very, very traumatic event, and it's something that challenges her throughout the story. And it's actually funny because whatever happens here in the beginning just got actually resolved. I don't want to say resolved, but it was just brought to the attention of the big people within the last few chapters.
Okay.
So it's I would say start from the beginning because then you get an idea of the overall story. You can start at the beginning of certain arcs, I guess, but it's just more helpful because it references a lot of the things that have happened previously.
Okay. Sorry, I just felt like that might be...
No, it's good. As a whole, it just makes more sense if you started from the beginning.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
100%. I just didn't know if it was one of those things where, you could just be okay, I'm gonna do this now.
Yeah, no, I want to say yes just because I want everyone to read it, and then if they just jump in the middle and realize they have to start from the beginning, that's good, that's cool for me. But I don't want to lie to people and say that.
Do you think even if you knew the story of Persephone and Hades, it'd be... You'd want to start from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is just a retelling, but it has a twist on them.
Yeah, okay.
So obviously we all know what happens with them, but the story leading up to that is different. It's so good.
All right, cool.
So good. Okay, and then I have King the Conqueror. This is issue number 4. I think there's one left of this series. I have not read this one yet. I did really like the first issue, but I kind of fell off, to be honest. Like, I did not read issue 3. I started to, but I just didn't really interest me.
Yeah.
So I am going to stick it out and get number 5 because that's literally all there is. And I will read it. I just haven't had the motivation to finish it. So
That's a fair thing.
yeah. I did. Again, I really, really liked the first issue. I just don't... The second one, I was kind of indifferent, and the third one, I just didn't want to read.
I mean, that happens with comics sometimes, too,
Yeah.
you know, where you're just like, did I really want this?
Yeah,
Or was that, like, first issue just so strong where it, like, was like, okay, yeah, I do, and then you're like, not really.
Yeah, it was really weird because...
Because, yeah, I read that first issue. You let me borrow that second issue. I still haven't read it.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where, I don't know.
And
I really liked the first issue.
Yeah, I was, like, stoked on it. I was like, yeah, this series is going to be so good. And then I read the second one and was like, okay, that's like it was good, but I wasn't, like, interested in it like I was in the first one.
Yeah.
And the third one came out, and I read the first page and was like, this is a lot of words. I don't really want to do this right now.
The work here is too much.
And then it just continues to be a lot of words. Like, it's a lot.
I'm trying to read a comic book here.
It's when there's this many words, it is very hard for me to focus on the art, which is probably a good thing because I don't really like the art for this story. But yeah, it is what it is. It's King the Conqueror.
All right, so now I have Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is issue number 31.
I cannot believe you're still doing that.
Yeah, I mean, my opinions have not changed. Joyce looks like a teenager in this book, though. Like,
Which one?
Joyce. That's Joyce.
No.
That's Joyce.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little, like, off-putting. So I'm like, she looks like the same age as Buffy in this.
Not into it.
There's just, this still continues the storyline of them kind of crossing through the multiverses of Sunnydale, which I feel like they've been doing for, like, so long now.
Yeah, because where did I drop off? 20? Issue
20? Yeah, I think so.
Was it really that long ago?
Yeah, and as I think about it, I think issue 25 did, like, the intro to the multiverse idea, because that's when they went and saw that there was, like, saw the TV Buffy.
Okay, right.
And
I vaguely recall this now.
And I don't know why I remember it was issue 25. But yeah, so they've been doing this for, like, 6 issues now. I am hoping it's wrapping up soon. This kind of just develops, spoilers, I suppose, if you care. The faith in this world is actually from a different, I guess, universe.
Oh, shit.
And, like, her parents are still there and all of this stuff. And so
she's pretty well adjusted in this one.
Well, I mean, the version of her in that universe, yes.
Okay.
The version of her that's been brought to this universe and shown that, like, she was basically stolen. The bad guy basically is showing her all this information to try to use, like, faith against all of the slayers.
Okay, right. That makes more sense now. I was like, well, that's just rude. Why would you try to traumatize this person who's already pretty traumatized?
Yeah, so, yeah, he's trying to use that information. They do weird little hints at the mayor in this. Like,
we've been dealing with that in the show, too.
Well, those, like, I'm fine with those in the show, because I feel like it's more... I know it's the same, but it's also not the same, because, like, Cordelia works for the mayor.
Right.
And it's these sort of little, like, hints that, like, okay, the mayor's coming in, and I assume they're going to do this thing with the mayor that is traditional, where he is not the good guy. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck. If he's not the bad guy, honestly, that might push me to the edge of dropping the book.
I'm done.
But yeah, I don't know. I still don't necessarily like it. I don't honestly know why I'm still reading it, because I don't necessarily enjoy it. I do kind of like most of the covers. But I don't know. It's definitely been a book where every time I read it, I'm just like, all right, what fresh hell am I going to dislike today? And it's not that I dislike isn't the right word either. It's just, I don't, once again, just don't care.
It's not for you.
It's not for me, but I'm a huge Buffy fan, so I don't want to say, like, I don't know, Christopher doesn't like it either.
Which is honestly surprising because Christopher likes Angel.
Yes.
So we know he likes bad stuff.
Sorry, Christopher, if you ever listen. I didn't diss you. It was Heather.
I'm allowed to after what you said to me.
I don't know what that is, but we're just going to move on so you don't say it on...
I won't say it.
But yeah, it's, you know, like, two huge Buffy fans not liking this book and thinking that the same sort of things about it. I just don't know how it's, like, still running. Like, I don't know how they're still publishing this book.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, does it feel like they've kind of run out of, like, ideas that haven't already happened in the show? I
have no idea what's going on in this book. I have no idea because, sorry, I don't mean to yell. That's yelling. Because the thing is...
it's not completely white on there. You're good. It's just a raised voice.
The thing is, it's the storyline's been like 6 issues, sorry. And it's taken so long to develop. So it's like they might have other ideas, but I have no clue because it feels like it takes them forever to get through one thing. Like even the Xander death shit, and then you don't care.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just like it takes so long, and at that point you're just like, what the hell?
Just give it to me already.
Yeah, like you could do this in a much shorter amount of time. Like I get it. I get what you're doing. Make it happen faster. I do believe this is probably going to lead into or tie into that last Slayers book.
That would make sense. I did add that. I felt like I needed to.
Yeah, I'll let you know, like, if anything happens that you need to know within that, because I don't think it's worth going back and
I wasn't planning on it. I was, however, going to get the first issue of Angel, that new one, because I did like that Angel series that was out recently.
Who's writing that?
I cannot remember. I'll look into that because I was curious enough after really enjoying that last Angel series, like from a couple years ago. That one was really good. I didn't read the Spike and Angel part of the Angel series. Surprisingly, I should have. I think I'm just gonna get the trades because there's only 2 of them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I'll get the first issue and see if like they did a weird Hellmouth Angel Buffy like companion story thing like they have been doing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just I don't necessarily recommend this. I maybe recommend the first story arc at most.
The first 4 issues.
Yeah, I feel bad because it's just like I do feel like every time I talk about this book, I just like hate on it, but I just don't like it, and I'm sorry, everybody. I'll skip the next time I get it, unless it's
just really, show it next time.
Yeah, unless it's really good, I won't talk about it. You'll just know that I have it. So now we're not going to talk about this book because it's not a real book, but our friend Chris, he did a little homage to Jawbreaker for Where's the Furthest Place from Here.
Because that Jawbreaker was the first. They were on the vinyl, right?
Yeah,
that
they were on
all
the
supposed to get, but didn't.
Yes, besides me, who did not originally order the vinyl.
Yeah,
but yeah, so it's a nice little homage cover. I thought it was really cool. I just wanted to show that because I thought it was neat.
Yeah, it's very, very nice.
There's nothing inside, so it's fake. It's not real, but there's a cool little cute cover.
Don't say that.
I mean,
it was real. It was real to me.
Yeah, so our friend did a cool thing. Just want to talk about them.
Yeah, they did very good. Good job.
Okay. Now we have The Nice House on the Lake. This is issue number 6.
Yep.
And this is, as they said online, the mid-season finale.
Yes. This, I loved this issue. Mm-hmm. It was very, very good. You find out more about, like, I guess Walter and his plan, what he was going to be doing, and the fact that there were people in on it without kind of realizing it. And you get to figure out the extent of what like Walter would do to like keep them safe. even from themselves.
Yeah, it's this issue was really good. The panels in some places were really, really amazing.
That first page here is my favorite.
Yeah,
it's absolutely incredible.
The colors and the art are gorgeous. And that's, they just fit the story so well, too. One of my favorite things about this book is just, like, the aspect of survival. Because it's like they don't really know what's going on. They don't know what Walter is. This issue particularly does show, like, Walter's, and not, like, softer side, but more, like, vulnerable side.
Yeah, his friendly side.
Yeah, and I like the interpersonal relationships, like, that they build. And I am interested to go back and learn more about the very first person we met, the artist, the other artist, I guess.
Reggie?
No, because this is Reggie.
Right.
The very first person who was like did the narration and talked, who like hadn't really been a part of the group for more than like a couple weeks to a month.
I forget about that. I forget their name.
Yeah, I can't remember it either right now.
6 issues.
Yeah,
of course we forgot.
But yeah, I would like to go back now, and especially because each issue is kind of given us like everybody's story, and I don't feel like we necessarily got that from that character as much as like that character introduced us to everything that was happening.
Right. That's true.
And like all of the cast of characters that we were about to meet. So I'm interested in that, like going back to that. And also, I don't know, like I said, I just like the interpersonal relationships. I like how everybody interacts, and I don't know, it's a really good book. It's weird, like how good it is, and I do want to touch on the horror thing about it, because somebody came in and picked up all but issue number 5, because we didn't have that, and they were like, well, my friend told me this was horror, and he's like, and I don't really like traditionally like horror, and I was like, yes and no. I was like, it's more of like
situational horror, I would say.
Yeah, like, and that was like survival horror. Like, it doesn't, like, it has that like vibe, but I wouldn't attach like the horror label to it, I guess.
Right. It's like what is happening to them is horrifying, but it's not scary.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And I suppose it's more like, I guess it is, like, at the same time kind of supernatural with, like, what Walter is. But I don't know. There's something about this where I've just fucked myself up with so much horror that now I'm like, I don't think this is horror.
I wouldn't consider this horror at all. I would say more, like, sci-fi thriller, to be completely honest. Like I said, like, it has...
Oh, God, now we're in the horror thriller zone. Like, where it's just, like, it's hard to... decide if a thriller is a horror or if a horror is a thriller.
To me, I always classify horror as something that has to do with like a scary movie where people are killed. Thriller to me is a scary movie where people are just fucked, like psychologically. Yeah. That's a thriller to me. And so I would say this is more thriller because while people are dying, they're not getting murdered by someone. You know? It's I don't know. I heard a man on the internet say pretty much the exact opposite, so of course I'm going to have a different opinion than him because I think that he's wrong, and he needs to be told.
Well, damn man on the internet.
Deleted my comments because I was right, clearly, and then blocked me on TikTok, so.
Oh my God. Did you get in some TikTok drama?
No, all I said was, you're wrong, and here's why. And he just didn't like that, apparently.
Oh my God. Amazing. Okay, so now you know a little bit about us to an extent.
Well, he said a Serbian film was the best movie he's ever seen. I was like, no, that movie's actually very bad. You're just into shock horror. Like, what? That is not a good movie. And if you're recommending it to people because it's a horror movie, I will find you. That movie should not be recommended to anybody. I don't care who you are.
No. Okay. That's, do you get... What's the movie? Are you gonna say it? Because I can mute the mic and you can tell me.
No, it was a Serbian film.
Oh,
that's the name of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that you were seeing that. I don't know.
No. It's a Serbian film. It's just a fucked up movie. And if any like masculine fucking baseball wearing cap dude who's a fucking horror movie connoisseur ever says that that's a good movie, then I'm immediately gonna call them out on that because it is not a good movie. It was a movie that was made for shock value. It is worse than Cannibal Holocaust, so don't fucking say that.
All right, go on.
I have a lot of feelings about that.
I know. Talk about your Batman.
Okay, I got Batman. This is issue number 117. This is Tynion's and Jimenez's last Batman issue together. The new group will be starting next month. I can't remember who. Williamson and Jorge Molina. But basically, this just ends the Fear State saga. Batman and Peacekeeper have their little face off. Miracle Molly figures out how to shut down the machine. Poison Ivy is convinced to not destroy Gotham, and Harley and Ivy are canon.
Cool.
It's very, very cute.
Yeah.
But there's like a whole spiel. Like there's like that page is so
really
good.
Yeah.
But there's a whole thing that Batman says at the end, like I don't know. He's speaking to Miracle Molly, and it like made me emotional a little bit, just the way that it's written, I guess, because it, like I said, it reminded me of the Samway's speech about hope and good being left in the world and stuff. I got really emotional about it, but this was such a good ending for this in particular. I had a customer today talk about how Fear State was just absolutely dreadful, and I could not figure out why. It's so good. Like, the story itself is, it's all right. Like, it's not bad, but, like, the art for this, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's so good.
I couldn't get into Tiny Onions Batman either, and I don't know if I would like this.
I mean, that's fair, but I mean, for someone who has never read any Batman outside of like Tom King's Batman stuff, like, I absolutely love this. I thought this was such a good like way to end their particular run of it. I didn't read like the first couple arcs. I read Joker War and then this one just because I love this artist so much, but I loved it. And just for the record, not all of the other things that say Fear State on them are a part of the series, so you can read them. It's just, that's what's going on in Gotham right now.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It was just a weird conversation about that. But yeah, no, this is last one. A lot of things are resolved, and there's a cute little Batgirls story in the back leading into the new Batgirl series. Story. The story coming in. Whenever I say series, it makes it seem like there's multiple ones. It's one series that's coming out and just multiple issues. Okay, and this is the Secret Files, The Gardener. This is basically about what happened to Poison Ivy when she was in school, and how she went from wanting to save the world to almost destroying it. Right. I really like this one too. It was very interesting. Christian Ward does the art in it.
I don't say that art's good.
Yeah, so it was very, very good. And it's from the perspective of someone who has the opposite ideals as Ivy, which I thought was very interesting because she's doing it out of spite. She doesn't want certain things to happen because she doesn't think that they deserve to happen, where Ivy is just wants to save the world.
Yeah.
So, and she's asking Batman for help because she thinks that Poison Ivy is still good and she is worth saving. So it was a nice little one shot. I did say that the Peacekeeper one was my favorite little Secret Files thing, but I think after that this one is definitely my favorite.
All right.
There was just something really pretty about it, not just the art but the story itself. Yeah, it was good.
All right.
Fear State is over.
First Date.
It's done.
All right, I have a refrigerator full of heads. This is issue number 2. This is I'm going to call it a sequel. It's a sequel to Basket Full of Heads, which came out...
That's like 3 years ago.
I would say 3 years ago. And this issue ties the two together, and you're learning that somebody's looking for these specific artifacts that are Viking related, Norse related, Norse.
Okay.
And they are willing to fuck people up for it.
That's accurate.
And so they bring back the very first character who June, who wielded the axe the very first time. And now they're kind of, connecting the pieces.
In the basket full of heads?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
Mm-hmm. She is the one who, like, basically in Basket Full of Heads, this did help me, like, remember what happened in Basket Full of Heads, though, I mean, part of me is like, yeah, you could probably jump in, and then I'm like, no, probably not.
It would certainly help.
Yeah, it would definitely fill in a lot of blanks. But yeah, June, she is on this island with her boyfriend for the summer. They get attacked by a gang of men, I think, and then, like, they kill everybody. They take her boyfriend. She finds this axe, and then she, like, goes out trying to save her boyfriend, but Jen, like, is chopping off heads in the process. And,
cool. Love that.
And in this one, they chop off, like, 9 heads at once. Just, like, definitely a dumb, sort of fun, like, slasher book more than anything, because all the heads still talk. And in this one, they do the new protagonists, I can't remember their names, of course, they are attacked by a biker gang and end up cutting off their heads and then, like, interrogating them, trying to figure out what's going on. So it's, like, silly and fun.
Okay. Does it still have the feeling of, like, an 80s, like...
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like, I feel like, especially with, like, just... The art is so wild.
Yeah.
That's honestly one of my favorite parts. But yeah, because, like, she's interrogating these disemboweled, these heads, and she's, like, threatening to... Decapitated, there we go. Decapitated heads, and threatens to, like, throw it into the decapitated shark mouth.
Oh my god.
So, you know, like...
It's super campy.
Yeah, it has, like, that feel and just, like, looks like that. Like,
I love it.
The colors and everything.
Yeah, the colors are really, like, vibrant. Mm-hmm. I like that.
I think that's, like, the other thing I liked about Basket Full of Heads so much, too. Like, I've always said, it's just, like, the art was really good, and I think it really brought the feel of, like, what the story was supposed to feel like together. I would like to go back and reread it and finish it, since I did not read the very last issue.
Oh, my God.
But it only came out in hardcover. I think it's finally out in softcover, so I'll probably buy it. But
yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it did just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, because they put them all out in hardcover first. But
bold move, DC.
Fucking sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go back and read it and see if I still have that feel, because that would be nice. Okay, I'm ready. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's talk.
All right, this is Eat the Rich. This is issue number 4.
Is coming to a head here. Joe, the main character, is dealing with the fact that she and her boyfriend's family likes to kill and eat people. In this particular issue, she discovers some things about herself that is very fun and sexy. And her boyfriend has other plans.
Yeah, this issue is definitely like the, what do you call them, the penultimate?
Yeah. I like to call it a climax.
I mean, but it's not the climax.
It's the build-up to the climax.
Yeah.
But it's like getting there.
It's the stroke.
Yeah. I love that. Yes. This is where everything is, like, being revealed and the explosion is going to happen soon.
This is 5 issues?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It's just a cute little horror story.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, honestly. That's, like, the thing I like about it the most. It's fun, the art is good, the colors are great. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's enjoyable.
Very likable characters, too.
Yeah, surprisingly so.
Yeah.
Like, I even like her boyfriend.
Yeah, I do, too.
Who I feel like I should probably not like.
He's a very big square, but I like him a lot.
Yeah, so it's an interesting book because it also goes quickly, and there aren't a lot of, like, words. Mm-hmm. But it fills in the blanks, like, really easily.
It's just good art.
Yeah.
Man. It's just good art.
Yeah, I enjoy reading it every time it comes out. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll read this one.
Yeah, I read this one first, actually, because I was very excited, because I want to see what happens to her. Like, I feel like it's one of those stories where it's not going to have a happy ending, so, like, what's going to happen? Like, is she going to die? Is Aster going to die? Because one of them has to.
Is Pearl gonna die?
Is Pearl gonna die? Like, we don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. If I have to guess, I would say Pearl dies.
Wait. Petal.
Petal. Yeah, Petal.
I was like, wait, is it Pearl? No, it's Petal. Petal.
You know, close enough.
Petal, because she has the whole page where she says petal, 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 petal.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it?
I think you got it.
Petal, petal, petal.
Yeah. I think she dies.
I mean, we would expect that, I think, though. Too much. Because we already know it's going to happen.
All right. We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see, I guess.
We'll update you on who's going to die.
Or who dies.
Who dies.
We'll say big spoilers.
Really big spoilers. It's going to ruin the whole story.
All right, go talk about your booby book.
This is my booby book. This is Godkiller Spiderland. This issue number 1. It's technically the third. You know, it might be the fourth, actually, because I think the trait that I have is the first 2 story arcs. It's one of the story arcs. So basically the main... Well,
God, don't flip through that book.
It's very, very difficult. There's a lot of boobs in this. Every single page.
Every page has tits on it.
Every single page. So I'm going to keep it very brief because this was a very strange issue to read. And I've read most of the other ones. I just didn't read the second or third story arc, whichever one it was. But this takes place in a kind of... I don't want to say post-apocalyptic world because it's not. It's just kind of a destroyed... futuristic kind of world where a girl pretty much sells herself to get money to save her fam, essentially. But this one takes place like years after the first one takes place. She's back from the dead,
which makes that issue even more disturbing to me.
Yeah, well, the person who there's so many boobs in here.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
There's so many.
Like, and I love titties, but there are so many titties. And
there is not one page where there is not a titty. Every single one has, and they're like huge.
I don't know.
They're big boobs. This is weird art. I myself am not a fan of this art. I like the story enough, but the art is just not my bag, baby. It's very strange.
I like how she's sleeping under the... Like, this is like a movie. Like, she's... Oh, wait, damn it. Where was it? She's sleeping under the covers with her tits out. Yeah. That's...
Well, I'm very confused, because here she's only got one leg. Like, did they forget to draw... I don't know. The art is very confusing, like I said. Okay, there's butt. I don't know. I feel like she lost her leg, and then it was just because she's got 2 there. She's got 2.
Isn't it this girl that we saw first?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's not her. There. See, there's a leg right there. There's her leg. Was it just sewn back on?
And yeah, she definitely has 2 legs.
But you see what I mean, though?
Yeah, no, she definitely had 1 leg.
That's one. That's a singular.
Maybe they're supposed to make it look... Well, no, because even the shadow kind of makes it look like she has 2 legs. I don't know. I can't answer for this person.
I don't know.
It's not.
I don't know. Anyway, she's back from the dead. Her brother is missing. Her mentor, who taught her how to use magic through sexual intercourse and dick sucking, is also dead. And so she's kind of left picking up the pieces to figure out what her next move is. And she's got a tesseract.
Yeah, she does have a tesseract. I can't
tesseract.
account for that. I just flipped through this book, like, every single page, and then read, like, the page that you told me to read with the eat me part. And then saw the Tesseract and went on with my life.
It's a lot about, like, fallen gods and stuff like that. I'll figure it out eventually, and we'll get back to you on that. I don't fucking know. Another confusing book. This is...
Are there tits in that one, too?
No, I don't think so.
I just didn't know.
Not that I can remember.
As our new resident horn dog, I guess.
You know.
No, I mean, they're wearing, like, you know, kind of slutty outfits.
Like corsets and stuff, yeah. No titties. Thank God, because they're children. This is Porcelain. This is about a girl named Birdie. Bertlin.
Bertle.
I think it's Bertle.
Yeah, I remember the first time you said it made me laugh. Too,
Yeah,
so.
because Beryl.
Yeah, Beryl.
Beryl, who is stuck in a funhouse with a kid named Axel. They're trying to find their way out. They're not supposed to be touching anything. They are kind of sucked in further by another girl that is in there who is trying to get Axel. So they have been separated. Beryl is by herself and she's a prisoner, essentially. I'm still kind of confused as to what's going on because I don't remember.
It's a cool panel.
Yeah, the whole, like, there was one page in particular, like, this is what she sees. These are her dreams.
That's really cool.
Like, that's freaking cool. And then, yeah, just the layout of all of this, like, the colors are so weird. And I do really, really enjoy, like, the art. I think it's incredible.
I like how solid the colors are.
Yeah. And there's only, like, 4 colors. Is what it feels like.
Like red, black, green.
Yeah. And then like
pinkish. Yeah.
Very strange. But anyway, very strange. It was a very strange book. But I do really enjoy it mostly because it just seems like a nightmare.
Yeah.
It does actually seem like a nightmare. And I think that's so sick. But yeah, I think there's 1 issue left. Yeah, I was looking at there as if it didn't say that there. This is issue number 4. I believe there's 1 left, so we'll get the conclusion and I'll figure out who Valentina is.
All right, so I have Ma. This is issue number 3.
I love that cover.
Yeah, I also love this cover as well. Very good, very good. Mm-hmm. A lot's happened. A lot has happened. And I don't necessarily want to get too deep into it, but something happened in here that I was not prepared for.
Like bad?
Yeah.
Like traumatic?
Not traumatic for me. I mean, yeah.
Put yourself in their shoes. Was it traumatic?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Somebody died that you were not expecting to die. There's just like a lot of character development. And so it was like... God, I can't remember these characters' names, and I'm like, please be on the back of the book.
Monica.
No, that's not their names. The sister and her, like, I'll call her dark sister. You know, went to the feminist camp.
Yes,
well, I just felt like that was the best way to do it.
Can I see it for a minute?
Light sister and dark sister.
Yeah.
Go to a feminist camp.
Day and night. I just want to see if I can see it on the first page because I don't want to, like, ruin anything for myself.
Dark sister ends up getting, we think, raped, but
Wendy
is her name.
Wendy is the sun.
Wendy is the sun?
Yes, and I'll figure out who the moon is. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm just not
So
really...
Wendy and her sister, who's the dark sister, the dark sister gets raped or some sort of...
Marion.
Okay, so
Marion and Wendy.
Marion is in some sort of situation where some sort of witchcraft and wizardry happens, and this feminist group definitely, I feel like, has a part in it, but I don't know. I'm interested to see where it ends and like where it goes, because especially after this issue and what happens, I don't know. Like, you learn a lot about the guy who dropped them off and like who he is and how he's connected to this feminist like retreat, and there's a lot going on. It's a really good book. I've really enjoyed it. So, like, not surprisingly, but I have enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. In that first issue, I was like, I really like this, but I like the way it's developed. I like the way it's also like kind of kept us from Marion, who you like think is the main character, and like really puts you, like, the last 2 issues have really put you in the shoes of her sister Wendy and what her life is like, and like what drove her here. And then this issue is like kind of the opposite of like, well, this wasn't necessarily my best choice.
Okay.
So it's an interesting dynamic where she is very much questioning like the choices she has made in this book. So yeah,
I was just seeing if it wrapped around.
no, it's in it. That's what I was also doing earlier too, besides trying to be like,
God, it's so good.
yeah. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Let's discuss.
Norse mythology.
Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology.
Issue 6.
Issue number 6. This is one of the last ones, right?
Well, this seems like like I said, I was pretty sure this was like the last one, but I wasn't sure. But this is seemingly the last one of this story arc, because they do talk about at the end Ragnarok coming and the fact that Frey gave up his sword. So it feels like if this isn't the end of the story arc, then there's one more issue. And if this is the end of the story arc, I feel like there'll be at least one more story arc.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But I mean, you know more about Norse mythology than I do.
There's just like a lot still. There's a lot. I mean, obviously they're not going into like depth of what happens because they're just giving brief overviews of the myths themselves. So maybe there is just one more, because that would make sense with everything leading up to Ragnarok. But I just feel like we're missing a lot of like the frost giants and stuff, and like Nilfheim and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I would be okay with one more, but I want more, you know?
Yeah, it's weird because I also would like more.
Yeah. But the two stories in here is, the first one is Scotty's marriage, which is absolutely incredible. Loki tying his penis to a goat. Beautiful. And then the second one is about Gerd and Frey. Frey falls in love with a giant from far away and convinces his friend to convince her to marry him without ever seeing him. So, very good. And
so easily, too.
So easily, yeah. And they get to sit naked with each other.
Yeah, it was like my favorite part of the whole book.
It's so cute.
I love big women.
Yeah. Oh my god. And she's the biggest.
Yeah, she is very large. And just look at those legs. Look at them hips.
Them, dude. He's like posting up right on that hip.
I would too.
Good for him. But yeah, the friend that he had convinced agreed to do this if he would get Frey's sword, which was a very powerful and magical sword. And if you know the story of Ragnarok, you know that the sword is important, and he doesn't have it anymore. So we'll get there. We're getting there.
Okay.
Okay.
Next. We have Moon Knight. This is issue number 5.
Yeah. Our man Moon Knight just deals with another demon while speaking with his therapist about things that he hasn't been honest about, which are his feelings.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what this issue is about. I told Heather my main complaint, and I'll say this to you all as well.
Let's hear it.
I just feel like every issue introduces me to a new villain that I just like, okay, but
why?
Like, just chill. Like, let me get a handle on one villain before you... Because they're all intertwined. Like, he's intertwined with, like, the first new villain. And then it's a new villain. It's just like, hell, come on.
I absolutely love the narration for this book. I really, really love his therapy sessions.
The art's really good.
Yeah, the art is absolutely incredible. But, yeah, at times I do get kind of confused. Like, what is happening? Like, why is this happening again?
So it just feels like there's so much, like, interjected in there. And it's a weird, I don't know, it's a weird dynamic. I like it, but I also, part of me is just like, it's a lot.
Can we keep it consistent?
Yeah,
here?
like, I would like at least, like, 4 issues focused on the same thing.
Instead of, it does feel very much like picking and choosing from things they wanted to happen so that it can all happen, rather than like just, having that like, ooh, here's this villain and here's why he's like interesting and bad. Like the first villain they introduced here, the opposite Moon Knight. Yeah, we got like 2 issues with him, and even then it was still like the first issue you were introduced, the second issue was like vampires, and then there he is again. And then that was like, I think he was mentioned again briefly, but yeah, it's just like
that fight. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just not. I don't know. It just it does it too quick, and I want him to like build up, and I suppose it built up to this main villain.
I mean, yeah, it did, but also just like the only thing real consistent and fluid with this story are his therapy sessions. and the characters, like especially his friends like Reese and Timothy.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
I don't know. The dude.
The boy.
The boy. That was the problem, is like I didn't really remember the boy.
Terry.
I
did not remember him either.
So like a lot of the stuff, spoilers, like the big twist,
it didn't hold any
weight to me. I was like, okay, yeah, that's shocking, I guess, but also not, because it seemed pretty like set up.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know, I don't read too much. It's just, it felt like the way that he, like, you know, led him to this place, and like the way he asked questions, like it seemed pretty sus.
Very much so, yeah.
Like, it's just like, this was like very, you're Moon Knight. You're not like Batman, I get it, but you're not, you know, in the same universe.
Yeah. Clearly.
You should at least like see the signs, right?
Right, and for, I don't know, being as self-aware as he is, you would think that, like, he would have had a hint at least, or like a whisper, like he would have known, like something was kind of like there, like a Rick rolled like brain worm, like it would be there in the background all the time, but you wouldn't quite know what it was. Mm-hmm. But he had no idea.
That intuition.
Yes, intuition.
I got there.
Yeah, you did it.
I finally got there.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the word.
I know. I was like, damn, I can't think of the word right now either. Okay, so let's go on.
Let's move on.
This is Primordial. This is issue number 3. So, Lykia. And Laika. And Abel and Mrs. Baker are all coming together as animals in space.
I loved the conversation between the animals in space. I thought it was so cute.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, they're figuring out where they are and where they're going, and meanwhile, back on Earth, the scientists are figuring out where they are and how to get to them. The animals, anyway.
The pages, like, they're the, like, colors in some of these, like, pages are just so good. It's insane. I do like this book. It's weird. It's very strange, I think. Like, it's kind of hard to wrap your brain around.
Right.
Just because you're kind of... And I think this is, like, the whole problem I had with Descender, too, is just that it's, you know, beings not really doing anything in space.
Yeah.
But this, like, particular issue does, like, fill in the blanks about, like, where the monkeys come from, and there's a good, like, little chase. I don't know. It's a really good story. I really do enjoy it. I'm excited because it's 6 issues?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of been pumping along, so I'm excited to see, like, what happens and how it ends and, like, what's to be.
Like, the reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited about that, too, especially because, like, obviously it's taking a piece of history and it's rewriting it. And the story of Leica, it made me so sad. And so I never liked it. I didn't like reading about it. And so, I don't know, seeing Leica in, like, the first issue, I was like, oh no, not this again. But it's different. And I really like that. I think Leica got the shit end of it.
Will it be like Dark, where it all ends the same?
I can't handle that. I love Leica and Abel.
Okay, so next we have Radio Apocalypse.
Issue number 1.
And I've been looking forward to this book. A little overview. There's one last radio tower left in the world, I suppose.
Or at least in this area.
Yeah. And people are trying to find their way to it. And so it's kind of about the people who are in the settlement, and because the radio tower is in a settlement, who are coming to the settlement when they get there, their stories, and kind of how they have to get there. The art is so... I said loose the other day, and I don't know the best way to describe it. Some places it's like over exaggerated and like
it's very
tiny.
chaotic,
and I really like it. I really love the colors. Like, the colors are one of my favorite parts about this, especially in certain places. Like, the fire part was, like, I love the colors in that. The shoes. Like, I love the way the shoes look.
I didn't even... I'm very much, obviously I've mentioned this several times, a facial expression person. And I think the reason why I love this art so much is because, exactly. But, like, the faces that they make, like, this one in particular, I absolutely love that it's... And I don't know if, like, obviously the colors help with it and exaggerating it even more, but the facial expressions are so good. The shape of the faces, like, this guy's head, like, it's just...
that guy's head got me.
It's just very, again, chaotic, and I absolutely love that. I think it fits perfectly for the tone of the story.
It's really pretty, and it's really, like, it's oddly heartbreaking, because when I first read it, I was like, all right, Ram, we're, like, I'm doing good. Like, this doesn't seem to, like, fuck me up. And, like...
and then the last few pages came.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I haven't listened to that song yet, because I would like to listen to that song. And honestly, I wish I had looked up that tweet from Ram exactly and seen what it was, but he basically was saying that if you see a song in here, you should just, like, play it. And I think, at least for this issue, it would make sense if you just, like, played it once you saw it in the like, text. Played it from there and, like, continued on.
Sorry, I'm reading it because I did read it, but...
Oh, I didn't even see this in the beginning.
Yeah.
I can read it out loud.
Do it.
Okay. Dear reader. Sorry.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
This comic was written to music playing over speakers, sometimes on vinyl. Others remembered... Is that what it says?
Others remembered on CD. Like, remembering on that.
Others remembered on CDs and audio cassettes. The story was told with tunes and words and images twinning into the... Twining?
It is. It's
twining. God, why can't I read?
I immediately in my head just said twinning, too.
Like, well, okay. Oh, my God. Twining into this inseparable thing in front of you. Let's make a deal. I'll tell you the best story I can about lives, loves, loss, and joy. And you, when you find an image or line referencing a song or a character playing on their boombox, Walkman, or handheld radio, I want you to find that song wherever you listen to music, and I want you to play it. That's how this story of the last radio station standing silhouetted at the far end of the horizon is meant to be read, plugged in and turned up. So come, let me play you a song. Damn, dude, I wish I had seen that when I started reading this.
We got a preview for this like a month and a half ago, something like that. It wasn't ever put into our file or, like, sent to us or anything like that. I found it by chance one day, and it was literally because I was looking up something to do with radio in the emails. I don't even remember what it was, but it wasn't this. And I had seen it, and I was like, oh, what is that? And I ended up reading it then. Obviously, they didn't have this there. They just had, like, the cover and then how it started. Yeah. So when I picked it up yesterday, because I told you I was going to reread it because I had read it. It's just been a minute. I picked it up and I noticed that. But I was in so much pain yesterday because of everything that I couldn't, like, focus on what it said because white font on black like that messes with my eyes
and
anyway.
It doesn't help that there's that. Right. Like, that's why I had a hard time reading all of that top part.
So I was, like, trying to read it like this and then was doing that and then was, like, adjusting my glasses and I could not read it at all. So I'm glad you just read that because this would have been just lost in the ether. I never would have gotten to it because I would have just given up. Just would have given up. Like that? Am I supposed to read that? What the hell is that?
And I think, like, I really do...
I can't do that.
I do think that would be a very enjoyable part of this book, which I, like, want to go back and do. Because, I love... One of my favorite things is music and, like, literature and the, like, way that, like, you can very much connect music with literature you've read or, like, memories. I don't know if you've ever done that.
Yeah.
So, like, I have very, like, specific memories tied to things because I read them listening to a certain song. And this will be an embarrassing fact.
I love those.
I'll say it out loud here. Okay. I listened to the Red Hot Chili Peppers Californication album. I was like, what?
No, you just said that, and in my head, before you said that, I was like, Red Hot Chili Peppers, because I also have an attachment to that song, that particular song.
It's like the whole entire album.
Okay.
I was reading Phantom of the Opera.
No.
So yeah,
That's why you hate musicals.
I attach, like, anytime I hear a song from that album, I attach it to, like, Phantom of the Opera, because I listened to that, like, album basically on repeat, because this is the olden days where you didn't have access to a bunch of stuff, and I was like, I'm just going to keep playing this because I need to read. And that is my Red Hot Chili Peppers attachment.
Okay.
It makes sense, like, Anthony Kiedis would be the Phantom of the Opera.
Don't you dare take him down to that level.
Hey, Doug. I'm just right. When I'm right, I'm right.
Oh my god. Ooh, I love the Phantom. And the fact that you just compared him to Anthony Kiedis. Ooh. Okay, we'll talk about this another time.
Yeah, I highly recommend Radio Apocalypse.
It's very good.
It is very good.
Yeah, it's very good.
It is a very solid story. I do think, like I said to Julian, I do think being aware of the art style is important, because if you're not prepared for it, you're not gonna, I don't think, like it necessarily. Dang. I'm just saying from excuse me, everybody, a normie. You know, I don't think I would recommend this to, like, I would have to ask somebody what they like. I'd have to literally ask them, like, what sort of art they like, because I think this is something that...
It is very peculiar. Like, say that word for me.
Peculiar.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it is very peculiar, and I think for the common folk...
The normies, the squares.
The comic squares. They might not necessarily enjoy it, but I think it is part of the story for sure, and I think it very much, like, fits. So...
I realized that you told me your Red Hot Chili Peppers story, and I just left you hanging. Didn't
tell
you mine?
It's okay, because I just wanted to say, hey, read this book. Now we're going to talk about the Red Hot Chili Peppers again, and then we'll sign off.
Mine's just really quick. Mine is more traumatizing than, like, anything. When I was, like, I would have been, 21, 22? I was at work one day, and I had a friend... I did a closing shift. I was, like, the night closing manager, and so I was pretty much, like, by myself at night. There was one
Anthony Kiedis showed up?
I wish. There was one other person working, and she did the registers until close while I did, like, all the stocking and stuff. And I was like, hey, I'm going to step outside for a minute. I'll be right back. So my friend had come to pick me up. We got in the car, drove around for about 20 minutes while I smoked a bunch of ketamine. And then I went
not where I thought the story was going.
And then I went back to work.
I just assumed you were going to say weed, but ketamine comes out of nowhere.
It was a wild thing because I didn't...
a bunch of ketamine.
It was like a blunt worth. I thought it was
like
weed.
Too much ketamine.
It was.
I don't know anything about ketamine.
It made me feel like the only thing I can relate it to now is, like, I've played with Braden's VR headset for too long, and when I took it off, I was dizzy. I didn't feel like I was in the right universe. I had a hard time walking. It made me feel sick. That's what it was. It felt like I had opened a door and walked into another dimension that my body had not adjusted to.
Okay, so then Red Hot Chili Peppers are here?
That was playing in the car when I was smoking ketamine, when it got to the point where I was like, oh, this is weird weed. And she was like, that's not weed, that's ketamine. And I said, what? And then I went back to work, and I had to talk to people.
How have you never told me this story before?
Because it was so traumatizing. It is really funny, actually, now that I look back at it. Because I remember at one point when I went back into work, I was fucked up. Like, one of my pupils was so big. Yeah, I had like one black eye, and then the other one was like my green when I'm like in a mood. And I remember someone talking to me at one point, and I was just doing this. Because I couldn't stand up straight because I just didn't feel right. And then, like, my manager called before I closed, and I said, I can't talk right now. And then just hung up. And so the next morning I had to open at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and he called me as I was going into work, and he was like, hey, was everything okay last night? I got worried, but I didn't want to call you back because I know you've got it. And I was like, yeah, I was fucked up. Like, I didn't know what to say. So that was my Red Hot Chili Peppers story.
Oh, that's way better than mine. Mine took place when I was like, 13, whenever that album came out. 14.
Well, and the thing that really gets me is I don't know why they were listening to that song. I have no idea.
Was it just on the radio?
No.
Like the Dreaming of California?
No, I'm pretty sure it was
I don't know if that's how the song goes.
Dream of Californication. That's when it hit, and I was like, what? It was the weirdest experience. That was the only time I've ever done ketamine, and I can't say that it was my choice, because it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was not warned about it beforehand.
Well, this is your everyday normal comics podcast, right?
Yeah. Welcome to the story of my traumatic childhood.
Jesus Christ, dude.
She dropped me off and went, all right, dude, see you later, and then and just like took off, and I was just standing by the opening of the grocery store of all fucking places, like, what am I doing here?
Like, much longer was your shift after that?
Like 3 hours.
That's a long time.
Yeah, but it didn't, like, it kind of, I guess the effect or whatever kind of like wore off after the first hour. It was just like one of those weird things where the majority of it hit me in the car, and I was like, I can see through things right now. I am on top of the world. And then when I got inside, I was like, I feel like I'm standing on top of the tallest building in Lincoln, Nebraska, and if I take one wrong step, I'm going to topple over and land in a field of flowers, and it'll be okay. That's how weird it was. Like, I had no idea what was going on.
It sounds like an awful time.
Yeah, I'm sure I said crazy things to people, and I remember the girl that I worked with, I was like, I'm going to be as normal as possible so she'll know that nothing is wrong. I bought from the freezer section at the grocery store a package of Stouffer's baked potatoes. We don't even have a microwave. How the fuck was I going to eat those? I was like, yeah, it's lunchtime. Anyway.
So yeah, that's all the comic talk we have.
8 minutes of me talking about being fucked up. Jesus.
The best 8 minutes of my life, personally.
I'm glad I made you laugh and cry at the same time.
Oh, God. My two favorite emotions. So yeah, comics. That's all we have. We will see you next time, or not. If you're listening, you'll hear our voices. Thank you for listening to our sexy, sexy voices.
Out of all the books this week, I would say pick up Radio Apocalypse. It just started, issue number 1. Very, very good. And then Lore Olympus is also something that I would suggest, especially if you love Greek myths. Anything else, fuck you. I don't think you should read it. But those 2 books in particular, I think I would say...
Yeah, I mean,
the best ones this week. Well, for like number 1s anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have anything else this week that I like above Radio Apocalypse. Like, I do enjoy Eat the Rich. I do enjoy Ma.
Yeah.
But
those for sure. Pick them up. They're just beginning, so you're not going to be missing anything.
And so yeah, support your local libraries, support your local comic support your local comic book shops. Buy some comic books. Be patient with people, because we're about to get into the holiday season, and that shit sucks.
Yeah, it's gonna be really rough, and people are sometimes fucked up at work, so just be nice, be patient.
And there's a bunch of shortages on stuff, as you guys know, so like, just be chill, be good to your fellow human being, and support your local strike funds if you can. Just, be good.
Don't be a square.
Don't be a square.
That's
or a prude, I guess. We love you. and we'll see you on the flippity flip.